Welcome to The Watching Dead, the officially unofficial podcast for The Walking Dead on AMC. I'm Jim.
I'm Aaron.
And we're back for another season of The Walking Dead. It's a Season 5B preview. We just watched a couple of trailers, a couple of teasers, all that sort of stuff. And we're going to come to you guys and talk about them and do a little feedback and stuff. Should be fun.
Yeah, you know, we're going to consider all that promotional material as, like, not spoilers.
It's released by AMC. Come on. You don't consider a movie trailer a spoiler. Right.
And I'm going to not make very many predictions because I could predict stuff based on spoiler material. But I got a lot into that in the last, the wrap-up cast spoiler section. So I'm not going to repeat all that because none of this is, I would consider, new information as far as that goes. But I'm curious to see your takes on it because, you know, you haven't read anything past the prison plot line in the comics, so you're largely ignorant.
Yeah, I know the broad generalities of the stuff.
Yeah, listen to us talk about it for a while. You probably have. But
yeah.
But I just want to say this is if you consider trailers and like we've seen the first 2 minutes of the first episode or what purports to be on AMCTV.com. Mm-hmm. If you're considering that spoilers, then go ahead and flip off. And we will see you next week when we come back for real.
Yeah. Sounds good. All right, why don't we get into it?
I want to talk about something really cool that happened after we went off the air.
Yeah.
We were talking about, I forget exactly how it started, but the idea was bandied about us having an Apache, an attack helicopter for the zombie apocalypse. And our buddy Nick G, who serves the U.S. Army in some capacity, I'm hoping he's authorized to take these pictures. First of all, thanks for serving. Mm-hmm. Second of all, he took pictures of, he plastered a sign over one of the longbows he had access to that says "Reserved for Jim and Aaron for the zombie apocalypse."
That's incredible.
So we are set. Thanks, Nick. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, the pictures are amazing. They're on Twitter. I don't know how you'd find them. Maybe go search
at Bald Move Longbow.
Yeah. That should do
it. Super cool. Thanks for doing that, Nick. We're all set for the zombie apocalypse. Bring it on.
Yep.
Bring it on.
We're good. Just need to find some fuel.
Yeah, and maybe Nick can come along too, because they're part of the ground crew, or he probably knows some guys that could be the ground crew.
I was gonna say, like, I don't even know that we need ground crew. We need pilots too, because I don't know about you, but I can't fly that thing.
I'm extensively certified through Battlefield.
Okay.
So many successful sorties.
As long as it has a WASD control scheme, I'm good.
Sure. That's how the cockpit looks, right?
Yeah, it's
just
a keyboard and a mouse.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Or if it, also because I played the old Apache longbow for the Commodore 64. I mean, I would also accept a Thrustmaster joystick. Mm-hmm. I'm familiar with that interface.
Okay, perfect. Let's talk about the 2 minutes trailer that they released just yesterday or today, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe. It's purports to be the first 2 minutes of this new season. I'm a little skeptical about that. If it is, it's a very weird start to the season.
It reminds me a lot of episode 204 of Cherokee Rose, the aftermath of Otis, where you've got a preacher kind of preaching something about the dead. Mm-hmm. And with a montage of people doing, grieving and doing zombie preparation, it reminds me kind of like a blast from the farm past, which is not necessarily a good thing.
Yeah, no, not at all. It's a weirder version of that though, because it seems to me to be out of, kind of out of sequence. Rick is talking to Noah at one point about like Richmond.
Yeah.
And it seems like the main focus of this is finding a place to go after the giant wall of zombies, giant wall of walkers and all their escapades there. They've turned around. They're saying, okay, let's regroup. Where do we go now?
Yeah. They're wanting to, I guess they're having fond memories of the prison.
That's the thing. They're showing the prison. They're showing Woodbury. They're showing what appears to be Noah and his brother in pictures. I would imagine his twin brother.
Are they twins?
They've got to be. They're dressed exactly alike, and they look almost
from
identical.
The Slabtown storyline. I somehow thought that his brother was older.
Well, if they're not twins, their parents are assholes because they're dressing them alike.
Yeah, they did look like twins in the pictures.
They're dressed identically.
Yeah.
In one of them. Anyway, so it was weird to me that Noah would be talking about Richmond and then everybody would be talking about going back to Woodbury.
I don't think that's it. I think this is a stylistic choice that's
fine, but Noah's family and his brother, like, why show us that? That's like, we don't know anything. Like, if you're not reading the comics, I guess you don't know anything about what's going to happen next, but we've speculated that they're going to try to reach Richmond. That doesn't seem like an option now that there's a wall of walkers. So I could see why they might think, let's go back to Woodbury.
Oh, see, I don't. I'm discounting that as a theory. I think that's just them as they're meditating on what it's like to rebuild. You have to go over all their previous failures.
But Noah's family is not a previous failure.
No, but Rick is making the case to go to Richmond, and I think first of all, I don't know that this is exactly how the first 2 minutes are going to go. But if it is,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
and I'm not God. I'm putting a place to defend Gimple, but I think what they're trying to do is show us, hey, we're thinking about going to another place, this Richmond, what we know has walls, and Noah tells us has some kind of functioning, human civilization. Like this is supposed to deliberately trigger us memories of the prison, of Woodbury, of the farm, of other places that we thought we were safe.
I get it, but the sequence is wrong to me.
Yeah, you could be right.
You get Noah mentioning Richmond, then you get shots of some cabin in the woods, a picture of a cabin drawing.
Was that the place? Was that the Grove?
It looked like it, but I don't see how it could be. Like, where would that picture be? It's inside of a house next to a globe,
but they also showed chalk outlines of the sun, like some child drew on a sidewalk, which
seems like Woodbury to me.
But yeah, but I think that's more, again, supposed to be poetic. Like, hey, it's a possibility that we could have families and children and all that.
I completely agree with you about what this is. What kind of this is trying to say as a metaphor, as pictures without words, but Noah's family does not fit in there because none of them know about Noah's family.
Huh.
I mean, I guess
so. You're just bothered by the fact that Noah is there.
When we as an audience don't know anything about it.
We don't have really any connection to Noah other than he is from Richmond. They have walls. He had a brother. He has a father who's dead now, right?
Yes, I think he died in the hospital.
Yeah. His brother is still probably alive?
Could be.
I don't. I honestly don't remember. I remember him talking about his brother being strong, and they thought he was a scrawny one, that's odd. Them being identical twins, because you'd think they'd just be.
Yeah, I don't know. They're twins,
like maybe one would be more athletically inclined, but it's not like you'd have one guy who's a 98-pound weakling, the other's like a Atlas physical champion.
Unless one of them worked out just a lot.
Yeah, that's
his
true.
Brother just
that's true
was a workout fiend.
Sure.
I don't know. It seems weird to me to lump that in there with like the prison and Woodbury and stuff like that. But we definitely see them burying someone. I thought at first that it might be Beth, but Maggie was crying, so that couldn't be it. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's obviously Beth, right?
Right.
I don't think there's any.
There again, like, man, because I'm working on my book for season 2, and I'm looking through, and one of the things I'm really jumping out when I'm analyzing this in depth is how many things that could potentially be just emotionally wrenching and work at a very human level in season 2. The writers completely sabotage in the way they sequence the events and their kind of impatience in letting some of these situations develop. Like, we have to bring something up in every episode. And I feel like that's the same way this Maggie thing. Like, was 90% ready to call bullshit on Kirkman's statement of, oh, well, when we finally get to Maggie dealing with Beth, it's going to be worth it. I don't
think it is.
Like, if every third episode she had mentioned something about, I just keep thinking about Maggie, or it's like one thing to lose Herschel, but to lose Maggie.
Yeah.
But we didn't.
She wasn't distraught at all.
No. Like, damn near a season and a half went by without that being resolved, and
it doesn't matter what kind of hijinks you get up to after that, you can't redeem that.
Yeah, I mean, Lauren Cohen could have done the perfect job of emoting, which she probably did. It just doesn't work with us because the groundwork wasn't laid for it to work with us.
Yeah.
So that's frustrating. I want to talk about. Do you have anything more to say about this particular trailer?
I mean, is it possible that they go back to Woodbury?
No. No.
How are they going to get through the giant?
They're just going to drive around
walkers?
it. It's not like the Great Wall of China.
It's going to be a long journey.
It's like trying to.
It's
like you know, if you're going to Las Vegas and you ran into Burning Man, it's like you wouldn't be like, oh fuck, I'm not going to drive through these hippies. I got to turn around and go home. No, you'd go around them. It's a finite cluster of zombies.
Yeah, but we don't know how big it is. They don't know how big it is either. That's got to be a factor, right? This could go for miles and miles and miles.
I guess, but
in any direction, we don't know.
It's not like, you know, Sharknado where, you know, you could be driving around and all of a sudden, oh my God, we're surrounded. It's like, feels like it's something that you could kind of probe the outside until you got around it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But a Sharknado won't follow you. The wall of walkers will follow you and eventually encompass you. You can't get too close to it is the thing.
Like if you're standing in roughly an inch of water, the Sharknado will find you and will kill you. I don't know the Zomnado. Don't give sci-fi any ideas, by the way.
It's a Zomnado.
A Zyphoon. A Zomfoon.
A Zidal wave.
There you go. There you go. What do you think about Father Gabriel being able to give a eulogy without comment from the survivors? That's one thing I wondered about is like this group,
if Shane was there, my God.
Well, but I'm just saying even this group seems to be pretty at least skeptical, if not openly hostile to, you know, Judeo-Christian notions of God. And he's just he's just giving a completely sincere. Plus this guy's not necessarily completely on the ends with these guys either.
So that's one of the other reasons I don't think this is the first 2 minutes of the show, or if it is, it's very weird to do it this way, because it looks like Rick and company, kind of the badasses of the group, are out finding cars and stuff, because they kind of do a sweep of an area with a bunch of cars.
Sure.
While the softer side of the group is burying Beth. That's what it felt like to me during this, and maybe there's a scene, if this is not the first 2 minutes, actually, there's a scene of them kind of saying, fuck that. We're not going to stand around and do this Sermon on the Mount bullshit. We're going for cars.
Okay. That makes sense to me.
But they say it's the first 2 minutes. That's really confusing to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not... You're clearly very bothered by this. I'm not saying you're wrong, but it did not faze me one bit.
Okay. All right.
So
maybe they're just letting us assume a lot of stuff here.
Well, I mean,
lot of stuff.
Gimple does seem to be fond of the tricksy forms of storytelling.
Yeah, that worked out real well last season.
Like just sitting down and telling a story is not something that interests him or Kirkman. It's they want to do something very artsy. So, and you know, we'll see if they're more successful. I think part of the, you know, we talked about part of the problem is maybe just their general inexperience, and you're trying to, you know, do something that's like really avant-garde kind of for the zombie genre, that there might be some just, hey, wow, that didn't really work out that well. Maybe we can do it better next time. So maybe they'll eventually get it right. Yeah. I want to talk about a little bit about my approach to this season, because you and I both were incredibly high on season 5. And the
first episode
did nothing. The only thing we could say bad is, wow, gee, a whole lot of the stuff from the season trailer came from this episode.
And I don't think that's bad. Yeah,
I wonder if that will mean that, you know, everything else is just kind of meh, or if that's just going to be more surprises and shocks and twists and turns. Because I knew what material was coming up, and the Hunter stuff was going to be pretty cool. You know, and I think, looking back, when I think about my reaction to episode 2 and episode 3, particularly before we actually got to Slabtown, it's probably more critical of that than I would have been if I'd come into the season not expecting greatness. Okay. If I had kind of like, you know, oh, wow, this is the first year that Walking Dead's got creative continuity. And, you know, I like Scott Gimple. He's a good writer, and he's got some good instincts for characterizations. And then you just kind of get slapped in the face with more sloppy execution. Coming into this half, you know, I was arms wide open, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. This time I'm coming in arms crossed, eyes narrowed into slits. You know,
you're giving him the Clint Eastwood.
So I think that I'm going. So the psychology of this, and I've been doing this for a few years, and I've observed myself. The psychology of that means that I'm probably going to be easier to impress And I'm also, it's going to be harder for me to be truly disappointed.
Yeah, see,
so adjust your hater / lover calibrations accordingly. I think that if I was confronted with like the end of the Terminus arc, the Hunter arc last season, this season, I think I'd be like, yeah, that's pretty good episode. Or at least averaged above average. Whereas when I was thinking everything was awesome, those two just didn't make the cut for me. So
sure,
I don't know, and I don't know what to expect, because I feel like how these next 8 episodes go is going to tell me whether I'm really excited for the seasons to come or not. Because this is a very transition time.
Yeah.
We're seeing them. They had several seasons of relative stability in a location at the farm and then the prison. Many would say, and I agree with them, too stable, too much time in one spot. The last season and so has been very much on the road and on the go and kind of like getting in misadventures here and there, which I've always argued is kind of a strength of Walking Dead that they should use more often. If we're going to Richmond, are we finally going to get to see a true like stable civilization start to reform? What kind of drama can we expect from that? Is it going to work out as is just going to turn into a post-apocalyptic MacGyver where they're rediscovering the wheel and generators? And
if they hit a major city that isn't overrun like Atlanta is at the moment, I feel like that stuff would be pretty operational. Like, granted, you have to find other sources for your power than like standard power plant stuff, but people still know how a wheel works.
Yeah.
Like, people still know mostly how this shit works. And if there's a city like Richmond that is mostly untouched by this, I don't see that being the MacGyver-esque scenario that Woodbury is. I see that being much more stable. And almost impossible to get any drama from zombies out of.
I don't agree. I think that, like, say, New York City, all 5 boroughs were spared. And they had enormous 20-foot tall concrete walls around the whole thing.
All right, New York City is like the most extreme example of any city.
Okay.
Right? It's like, okay, New York City and Tokyo, yeah, those are like,
let's say
uber cities.
Cincinnati was completely walled off, and it's a stable little city state. You're still not going to have power 24/7.
Yeah.
Because where the hell are you going to get the coal or gas or whatever, to make that stuff work?
Yeah, I mean, so you're saying it turns into like a Land of the Dead style, rich people up in their towers and everybody else living like peasants in the streets, like
honestly,
Blade Runner
probably
style.
Would. I think that's not a apt comparison, because
all right, you might be right.
I mean, we've seen throughout human history what it looks like when you get extreme poverty and extreme wealth.
Yeah.
Like, that's what happens. The wealthy people hole up in isolation and are served and, experience stuff that's just the common man can't even conceive of. And then the have-nots are down to eke out their existence. I think that's, not completely unrealistic.
But what I'm saying, like, from a defensive perspective, I don't think there's any drama to be had from walkers at that point. Like, I mean, so this is a different type of walker, right? This is not the zombie that bites you and you become a zombie. This is walker where you die and you become one.
Right.
So even internally, there's no way to protect from that, right?
Sure.
People die, especially when you have like a bunch of peasants living in the streets, not being supervised closely.
Sure.
Boom, a guy dies, and you have the shower scene from the season 4 or season 3, whatever it was.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe there's some drama there, but like big herds, I don't see as a big threat.
It just
to
depends.
An entire city of people. With
it just depends on how big we're
have.
talking about, because that's one of the things. Like when they're saying Richmond, it has walls. Are they talking about the entire town of Richmond? Are they talking about like a section of the city? Yeah. Like, it's a different if Fountain Square in downtown Cincinnati was secure from a 3-block radius, that's different than saying Cincinnati is a walled city or something like that.
Yeah, and we saw what went down with Woodbury. It's like, well, you could build a wall of tires.
Yeah,
but how secure is your wall?
Sure.
But even then, like, that city isn't taken out by walkers. That city's taken out by people.
Yeah, and there's going to be a little general impatience from me if we go to Virginia or wherever, Richmond, and they've just got like fucking corrugated metal walls. Like, this has been the zombie apocalypse for going on 2 years now. What the fuck? If it's all burning tires and picket
shitty
fences
bow girls
and shitty bow girls, there's no way.
Yeah.
Like, it's not hard to pour concrete. It's not hard to move earth. You just need strong backs and a will to do it. And if you have undead cannibals on the other side of the wall, I mean,
there's incentive.
Right.
Certainly.
Right.
I don't know. I'm curious if they do go to Richmond. I'm kind of looking forward to that, like you. I want to see what society looks like at this point.
Any guesses onto whether we spend the whole rest of the season getting to Richmond? Do we get to Richmond within an episode or two? Are they gonna have any adventures along the way? I mean, that's why I'm saying, like, how they handle this back half of the season is going to really either encourage me or scare the hell out of me for how they're going to approach it. Because the other thing is, from what we can tell, they're already in pre-production. They will be in production of the spinoff, the Cobalt or whatever they're calling it.
Yeah.
I don't feel like this show is going to get better once they do that. Like, if anything, they're going to take the creative team, like whoever Nicotero's lieutenants are, they're going to be split up between two shows. They're going to split the writing staff. They're going to split their pool of directors, and it's going to be, at best, maintaining quality. You're not going to just consolidate and get stronger by doing a spinoff.
Maybe that'll create some competition among the ranks, and they'll both push a little harder because they've got another show that's directly comparable that they have to live up to. Maybe.
We'll
I
see.
Don't know.
We'll see. I don't know. I'm just saying that I feel like the next 8 episodes are going to be very fateful for the show.
I think you're right.
I don't know.
I don't know that they have to get there before the end of the season.
And I don't mean fateful from like it's going to be canceled, because obviously I expect like 20 million people or whatever to tune in to the season's premiere. But I'm talking about from a critical standpoint.
Now the only real obstacle they have left, they don't have any people they're fighting anymore. Everybody in their radius is dead. It seems like the only obstacle now is that giant wall of walkers. I don't think you can spend 8 episodes on that and a journey.
No, that does seem like a pretty awesome, 2 or 3 episode arc. Like, yeah, this is our first like herd that we have to figure out a way to get through.
Yeah, how do you even deal with that?
Whereas you had a mini herd attack the farm and they just bugged out and ran. Mm-hmm. Like, what do you do now? I'm kind of interested in that. Sure, I wouldn't mind spending a couple episodes dealing with them getting to Richmond. But if we're like episode 4 and we're still on the road, well, I mean, I guess it depends on how entertaining. But my expectation is I'm going to be very afraid.
That's the thing. They always came into a season with a new threat kind of looming. And it doesn't seem like there is a new human threat here. It seems like there's just the wall of walkers. That can't be 8 episodes. So they're either going to have to get to Richmond quickly, or they're going to have to come up with some stuff for them to do along the way, some people for them to fight or something.
Right.
But then again, I don't want this show to just fall into a rut where they just present a new threat that's kind of the same every single time, Right. I don't want that to happen.
I'm trying to think.
The other interesting thing might be what if they get through the walker herd and the herd follows them to Richmond?
They Pied Piper Richmond?
Yeah, they inadvertently Pied Piper Richmond.
That would be interesting. I guess we
reverse Pied Piper. I guess.
I guess we would get to see, what Richmond's made out of.
Yeah,
that would be.
And
cool.
It would cause a lot of tension between them and the people in Richmond, right?
Sure. Yeah, you would suppose. Yeah.
All this is assuming that they're not heading back to Woodbury.
They're not heading back to Woodbury. God, please let them not be heading back to Woodbury. The governor set Woodbury on fire.
I know they don't know that, but we know that.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
So, you use 2 episodes to make a detour to Woodbury. They find out it's burnt down, and they say, "Oh, we got to go through the walkers." I don't know.
I would not be in favor of that.
I know. All right. What else do we have here? Do we have any feedback or anything?
No, not really.
What? We don't have any feedback.
No, I mean, there's like I trolled our forums to look for some people talking about it, and they were talking about it, but there was nothing that super substantive.
Okay. Well, I promised people feedback at the beginning of this cast.
Well, Scott Gimple or the Robert Kirkman promised that Maggie's reaction to Beth would all make sense when we got to see it, and here we are.
Yep.
One thing I wanted to talk about is the podcast talking about walkers, which you can find at talkingaboutwalkers.com. One of the hosts, Yardley and Olaf, they were at the Walker Stalker Con in Atlanta this year, and we met, kind of hit it off. They invited us on their 3rd year anniversary Walking Dead podcast. We had a pretty good time. If you want to check that out, I'll have a link to the show notes. They invited us on their podcast, and we had a 5-man pod talking about this season. They did a lot deeper dive about, it's like, they did death predictions and, what do we think about this? What do we think about that? So some of the stuff that came out of that was pretty interesting. But
we kind of have our death predictions on the record at the beginning of the season. We'll see how they play out.
Yeah, we touched about that in the wrap-up cast too. So I don't think there's any need to go over it again. But we'll see. I mean, clearly some people are going to die. I mean,
I think that's pretty safe. Yeah.
It would be I don't think it's ever happened. Have we ever gotten out of a half season without a notable death?
I don't think so.
I mean, this last season you had Bob and Beth. The previous season you had Herschel. I'm trying to think who was in this 5A. Who was in the I guess that was Herschel.
5A, yeah.
And then you had Lizzie and Mika in 5B or 4B. Is 4B. This
time it's going to be Judith.
I mean, I guess season 2A, you didn't have really, Sophia.
Yeah. No, it depends on when you think she died, I guess.
Well, I mean, she died certainly before episode 208, I think, is where they called it quits. And then second season, you had Shane, and in 3A, you had T-Dog.
Oh, Otis was also dead in 2. I don't know at what point.
But he was, we met him the episode before he died, so it's like, it's like you had a bunch of dudes, the prison crew died too.
Yeah, that's true. You had Beth's boyfriend die.
Oh, sure.
In season 3.
Doodlebug's beau.
Or was that season 4? That might have been like right at the beginning of season 4.
You had Judith die, and it turned out she wasn't dead. And then she almost died 3 other times since.
Yep.
That's the thing. I guess the other thing I'm kind of curious is, are they going to go the Walking Dead Full House edition? Because if they don't take care of Judith, I gotta throw raw meat to the people that are like, Aaron hates babies. If they don't do something about Judith in this next season, then we might as well just settle in for Full House Apocalypse edition.
Sure. Yeah. I want Dave Coulier to show up.
One other thing I'm wanting to see.
Cut it out.
I want to see The Walking Dead in the winter.
Okay.
I want to see the effects.
Harsh Georgia winter.
I want to see the harsh Virginia winter and what it does to the zombies. I understand the winter is hard for humans to live through too, but what happens to the walkers when you have a week of freezing cold temperature?
Sure.
They have no circulatory system. I'm guessing they're cold-blooded.
Yeah, if you believe Max Brooks, they all just freeze up and just stay there for the winter.
Turn into corpsicles.
Yeah, and thaw when it gets warm.
Right. So if that's the case, like, would you have, if you had a big walled city and you had a week of freezing cold temperatures, wouldn't it be a smart idea to send out like roving parties to just put as many zombies out as you commission as you could while they're helpless?
For sure. Yeah.
You just sit there with sharpened sticks and just shove them through everybody's head.
Yep.
I mean, that seems that kind of thing would pay off come springtime. You'd have a nice 20-mile dead free zone that you started the year off with.
Yeah. No, I think that's basically what Woodbury was doing, right? I mean, without the freezing temperatures.
Yeah.
They were creating that kind of red zone or whatever.
With their crazy badasses.
Yeah.
That they kept leashed up.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We'll see what happens. Again, arms crossed, eyes narrowed, coming into the premiere this season. But yeah, I'm excited's not the right word. Because I'm kind of scared.
I'm excited in the way that I was excited the first time I rode a real roller coaster.
Also,
like simultaneously shitting my pants.
Also, Better Call Saul's is on the same night. It has its premiere airing, so
yes,
that's going to be
right.
super fun to watch. We're podcasting that day one as well. But we also got The Americans. We're doing Justified again this year. So we've got a ton of podcasts.
Those two shows are on the air right now. So go check those out at our site.
Baldmove.com. And if you got feedback, send it into
all right.
watchingdead@baldmove.com.
Yep.
That's it.
All right. Thanks everybody for listening. We'll be back with the first episode right after the premiere. And until then, I'm Jim.
I'm Aaron. See ya.